been almost 500 days since the Russia-Ukraine war broke out, with the war reaching the 500-day mark. Can the world expect some good news coming out of it? Well, the United States seems to be laying the groundwork to end the Russia-Ukraine war, as reports coming to the forefront claim. A meeting held recently between former U.S. security officials and the Russians closed to the Kremlin. NBC News, quoting sources close to the discussions, reported that a high-level back-channel diplomacy called Track 2 diplomacy in diplomatic parlance took place in April between Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and senior former U.S. officials here in New York. The former U.S. officials who met Lavrov were Richard Haass, a former diplomat and the outgoing president of the Council on Foreign Relations. The group was joined by Europe expert Charles Kupchan and Russia expert Thomas Graham, both former White House and State Department officials who are now Council on Foreign Relations fellows. According to the report, in the April meeting, some of the thorniest issues were discussed. For example, the fate of Russian-held territory that Ukraine may never be able to liberate, and the search for an elusive diplomatic solution that is acceptable to both sides. The discussions also pertained to keeping the channels of communication with Russia open where possible, and to feel out where there may be room for future negotiations, compromise, and diplomacy over ending the war. The report further stated that the Biden administration was aware of the secret meeting, but added that it was not conducted at the behest of the U.S. president. Moreover, as the news comes about a possible peace talk between former U.S. officials and the Russian foreign minister previously, if you remember, the Belarusian president Alexander Lukashenko also vowed that he will be able to end the war. And according to media reports, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will travel to Ankara, Turkey. Zelensky is expected to meet Erdogan, the country's leader, for talks with the Turkish president on the Black Sea grain deal and development in the war in Ukraine.